Good evening, people. Last time we were making rock cakes, this time we're going to move on to the classic Traybake. First of all, you need 175 grams of sugar. I've bashed this. Basically, set your bowl onto the scale. I've already washed my hands. I'll wash them again just in case so you can see that they have been washed. And we pour the sugar in. I'm looking for 175 on the scale, or thereabouts. There we go. A bit over there, 184, like generous as ever. For your classic Traybake, you'll need 225 grams of self-raising flour. Enjoy. Again, I've tared the scales, as in T-A-R-E-D, and I'm just basically putting this self-raising flour in here. I've checked the dates. Always check for weevils if your flour's old. Things that creep and crawl inside your flour. But always adds extra protein if they're there, but it's probably best not to if you're squeamish, that is. But rest assured, I always check mine if you ever ate any of my cakes, so don't worry about that. It was all completely weevil free from Mike. I'm up to 195. We've got another 30 grams to go if you remember your maths, so 225 is my aim for the night. Ooh, gone slightly over, that's Michael, always living life to excess.
Doesn't matter.
There we go, it doesn't matter, that's excellent. Next you need the magic ingredient, the 1.5 level teaspoons of baking powder. So here we go. That's one, slightly lumpy, but never mind, we'll bash it. So when it'll be lumpy after I finish with it, I promise you. 1.5. Baking powder, of course, sodium bicarbonate, and this stuff also apparently has got disodium phosphate, magical stuff, and rice flour. There you go, all exciting stuff. Then I add my 175 grams of sugar. Other way around. Then I add my self-raising flour with my baking powder mixed into it to my 175 grams of sugar. And there she goes. Yeah, give it a little tap. Excellent. Next you'll need 175 grams of margarine or butter. So looking at my scales here, I can't tear them, they're stuck on 140. 140 plus 170, you do the maths. Does it come out at 310, am I right?
Yeah, but it's
right.
175.
Okay, so it comes out at 315. So when the scales weigh 315, we're happy as Larry. Right, so we've got 192. We've got 238, 235, 237, it's going down a bit. We've got 282, a little bit dash more to go to make it the 315 or thereabouts. 306, and we'll just have this little tiny piece here, there's always one, isn't there? Ooh, slightly short, can't have that. Let's go for going for gold. That'll do, slightly over, but that's fine. So that's actually 175 because I didn't tear the scales on that one, so meaning I had to weigh on top of the weight of the bowl. Then I'm putting into that. That's right. There we go, as ever. Looking good. Now I got 2 eggs out, but apparently the recipe calls for 3, so there you go. Perhaps I didn't read it correctly, but never mind. There we go. Stop. Add your 3 eggs. So, there we go. 1. Okay. There's your 2. Make sure we get all of the yolk out. And there's your 3. Okay. Try not to get any bits in. And then you need to add some milk. And I do believe the milk, it says
3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons.
But
so
don't put as much as that in yet.
I won't actually put that
Big
much in
eggs.
yet because they are large eggs, these ones. So let's put that's 1, and let's try 2 for now. Then I'll have to perhaps it's a dessert spoon, but then I'll have to mix this in. Mix the eggs up. Forks are always handy for this, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that, whisk it. There we go. Excellent stuff. You'd be disappointed to know that this isn't a tribute drink I'm doing at the moment. I'm actually just doing a Traybake, which is far more sensible. For those of you who part of the crazy tribute things going on Facebook. Not really my scene, that really. Okay, so we whisk the eggs.
That'll do.
Then that'll do now, nicely. Then we pour in with this lovely Pyrex bowl. Pyrex, amazing stuff, isn't it? Apparently discovered by some chap in the Roman times, and the Roman emperor promptly, so the story goes, had the chap who made the Pyrex killed because it made his own glass collection seem fairly worthless. Very
Can't hear you over there.
very understanding lot, the Romans. Right, then we're going to add some vanilla flavouring. How much are we going to put in?
Teaspoon?
A teaspoon of vanilla flavouring. There we go. So there we go. Excellent stuff. There's your teaspoon of vanilla flavouring. All one lovely and done and dusted. Save yourself a lot of elbow grease. Get yourself one of these. Your mixer. Have it on a fairly low setting first. First setting, which is number 1.
That's
That's the lowest setting we've got. There we go. Try not to have it on too high, because otherwise you'll be flattering yourself and the wall with your Traybake. Now I've decided I'm going to upgrade this one from a basic Traybake that I would normally make. So I'm going to add some dried fruit to it, which is completely rock and roll. Now I've got 3 eggs in the mix, so probably doesn't need as much milk or more adding. I've got 2 tablespoons of milk into this, but where possible, you know, learn from the ingenuity of human beings. You know, we didn't have these in the caves, did they, for those of you who like fresh air in caves? So mind you, I suppose we didn't have other, you know, lots of other problems you didn't have in caves that we've got now, but we won't go into the argument, will we? Mix in, stop there. Keep toiling away with your electric mixer. Not too high a settings, like I say, you don't really want to be splashed all over with the mixture. Then on mine I'm going to upgrade, like I say, and add some raisins now. That's the time you probably wish you'd put your best apron on, but never mind. I'm going to add, it's just over 100 grams. You could probably add more if you wanted to, but I haven't overdone it. You could also add other things to this if you want, like, you know, candy peel or whatever else you'd like to pop into your mixture. I'm going to mix them in with my spoon here. I've got a dessert spoon here, mix it in. So this is what you would call a very basic Traybake with, you know, you've got your vanilla essence and your self-raising flour and your margarine. 3 eggs, that really does beef it up, that really does give it extra oomph, I'll tell you now. All your oven's ready, about gas mark 4. If it's not fan assisted, about 180 degrees centigrade. Mine's on 160 because it's a fan assisted oven. How about that? Next I'm going to, as I say, this is the basic tray. Of course, if you were making them for your colleagues at work, as I used to and we used to, me and the other half, then you might want to make more than one of these because they'll disappear in about 10 minutes basically.
You don't need that.
But I'm just greasing this tray here, side, because basically what you want to do is basically just be able to lift the Traybake out of the oven, right, without any stress at all, really. So there you go. And now I'm putting the actual grease-proof paper in the tray. Okay, the idea is it's got to adhere to the grease. Grease is the word, of course, if you've heard, the grease is the word. And I'm going to have to grease it, of course, on the other side as well. So just press that in gently. Okay. There you go. I'm going to have to put a bit more grease on the inside, that is margarine.
A bit more.
Yeah. Not cart grease, that is proper margarine, a bit on the inside. Very little helps, as they say. Here we go. So of course your oven is nicely warmed up by now. I can feel the heat of my oven already. Can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen is what they say, isn't it? So people might ask what I'm doing there, but there you go.
What's it like?
Okay. And that's it then. You can turn it off. Get your cake mix for your Traybake. And the idea is to get it all in there, into your lined Traybake. all ready. And the idea is, if you've got to feed many mouths with cakes, there's no point in messing around. You can make individual cakes with this if you've got your cupcakes, but your Traybake is your basic Midlands and Northern, everybody help themselves and it's all gone when it's gone offer. You know, you've got to come when the offer's ready, basically, don't you? I suppose it's a bit like, you know, if you had tea around the table and all the chips are put on one plate in the middle and you eat it or you don't, you go to your room with no tea. Mixture I can get hold of, scrape the bowl, and then basically I've just got to spread the mixture out in the bowl, you know, give it a nice even spread really. And this is a very basic tray bake, but if you want to make something in a hurry, then it's all worthwhile, and it's all, you know, it's a bit of kitchen chemistry adds an extra string to your bow really. Cooking is always a good for the soul as well. So I'm trying to spread this out. It will of course rise to the occasion in the oven, one hopes, and just making sure that there's a fairly even mixture on my tray bake, not too hilly on one side really, so just to make sure it's, I mean, I'm not going to spirit level it or anything, but you know, I'm basically going to, you know, skim it along the top there and make sure I'm happy with what I've done. And you can check that you've got an even number of sultanas, because no doubt some people might even count how many sultanas are in each slice, and if you're in one of those families where people used to pour lemonade out and Coca-Cola out and they check whether you have the exact amount of somebody else by lining it up, well, I've seen that, don't worry. Now we're all ready to put it in the oven. Move the tray slightly down, maybe a little bit below the centre if you've got a fan assisted oven. And as I say, it's 160 on mine. It could be 180 if yours isn't fan assisted. Gas mark 4, are we right? In she goes, and you set your timer. Oven gloves are always handy. Set your timer for how long do you think?
35, 40 minutes.
About 35, 40 minutes. That's 15, 20, 25, 30. So I'll put it at 30 and we'll watch it at 30. Okay. Minutes and my little gong has just bonged, or my kitchen timer, to those of you who are in the know. And we need to check how the tray bake's getting on. Oh, that's looking rather nice. So basically what we do is we get our scientific tester, in this case a simple cocktail stick, and making sure we don't burn ourselves, we put the cocktail stick in to the cake mixture, down to the bottom, out again, have a look. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't see any cake mix on that, so I would say it's done. And it's been done, I would say, to perfection. Perhaps you might need another 2 minutes. I might just leave this in for another couple of minutes just to make sure. I tend to do things slightly, make sure it's done. Extra 2 minutes done now, so we need to turn the oven off first. Don't need the oven anymore. 0, 0. Turn my switch off here. Fan goes off, and we can take the tray bake out. Okay, place it on the gas rings there. Now the idea is, do I have to wait for it to cool? Right, you'll have to wait for it to cool. Once it's cooled, lift it out of the tray, and there you go. Or you can cut slices, I presume, can't you? So in this case we'll leave it in the tray and cut slices, and then you can add your goodies to it. Hopefully if you've made your cake right, the next day will taste even better. Tray bakes. Try one yourself today. Always have adult supervision if you're using anything to do with cooking and baking, and don't forget sharp objects like knives can only be purchased by people in our country, that's the UK, if you're over 21 or over.